Baby, before I say anything else, hear this the way your spirit hears thunder on a quiet night. I am not asking to meet because I miss you. I'm asking to meet because there is a truth inside me that refuses to live in the dark another hour. I've tried to swallow it. I've tried to outwork it, outrun it, drown it in noise and new faces, and the fake comfort of being fine, but it keeps rising, like breath after breath, like your name when I'm half asleep, like the line of a song that won't stop singing me. I need to see you without the crowd, without the commentators, without the eyes that don't know what our silence holds. I need a room where the lights are low, where my hands can shake without shame, where I can finally confess the thing I could never type, and where your heartbeat can answer me, not your pride. I don't want a scene. I want a door that shuts. I want the kind of quiet where truth doesn't have to yell to be heard. I know. Me asking for private probably sounds like the old me trying to tuck you into the shadows again. But this isn't that. This isn't about secrecy. It's about sacredness. There are words that were never made for an audience, and what I owe you is one of them. I owe you the thing deeper than sorry, louder than I miss you, braver than maybe we can try again. I owe you the map I should have handed you the day you touched the broken parts of me and said you'd stay until they learned a new language. I owe you the truth of what really happened in me, not the version I hid behind control, behind timing, behind not now. Baby, I want to meet because the weight of the unsaid is starting to cost me air. Because what I have to tell you is not a headline. It's a vow I should have made when you were still close enough to hear it in my breathing. I remember the last time we were together. The way you watched me like you were trying to memorize a storm. You felt the pressure changing even when I smiled. You knew there were words gathering behind my teeth like rain. And you waited, patient, the way oceans are patient with a shore that keeps erasing the same footprints. I gave you crumbs of admission. I let the truth peek out, and then I slammed the door because I was afraid of how real it would feel if I said it out loud. I chose caution like it was wisdom. I chose distance like it was dignity. I chose, God help me, peacekeeping over peace. And in the choosing, I made you carry a silence I should have shouldered alone. That is what I have to face with you, not in a text, not in a call that can end mid-sentence, but in a room where I can't pretend I'm not trembling, and you can't pretend you're not exhausted from being brave, for both of us. I'm not asking to meet to convince you I've changed. I'm asking because I finally understand why I froze when it was time to move. I thought I was protecting you from my chaos, but I was protecting my pride from your clarity. I kept the curtains closed because your light exposes what dust still lives in me, and I didn't know back then that exposure is the beginning of cleansing. You were never the threat. You were the mirror. And when I looked into you, I saw the man I could be standing right beside the boy I had been for too long. It terrified me. It also saved me. That's what I want to tell you, not as an apology letter carved into the air, but as a testimony with a pulse. I want to tell you about the night I finally admitted your absence wasn't just quiet. It was consequence. How the bed felt like an unanswered question. How the kitchen light at 2 a.m. made the whole house look like a witness who refused to lie for me anymore. How I heard the echo of your laugh in a stranger's and almost chased it down the aisle of the store like a fool, because I thought if I could just stand near the sound of you, my lungs would remember how to work. I want to tell you how I learned that regret isn't the villain. It's the teacher that shows up with a soft voice and a harsh syllabus. I want to tell you how every new conversation tasted like water that forgot how to be wet. How every almost love was a hallway that led me right back to the locked door with your name on it. And I want to tell you how I finally found the key I should have used when you were still knocking. Not grand promises, not pretty speeches, just the courage to be honest before I'm certain, devoted before I'm comfortable, present before I'm perfect. I want to meet, because there are things I can only answer while looking at you. The way your eyebrows lift when you're weighing truth. The way your shoulders soften when you decide to believe. The way your breathing tells me if I'm hurting you or healing you. I don't deserve that read on your soul anymore, I know. But I'm asking for the chance to earn one last audience with your silence, not to perform, to confess. To put the ruin on the table and show you where I rebuilt and where I'm still laying bricks. Slow, steady, with my name signed to the work. I need you to know I'm not here with a fantasy of easy. I am here with a blueprint that includes weather, includes setbacks, includes the days when faith feels like lifting and we lift anyway. Do you remember the small things? The way you'd set your phone face down and give me both hands like a sacrament? The way you'd say my full name when my head went dark, like you were calling me back to the surface? The way you never tried to win arguments. You tried to win understanding. Those small things are the giants now. They roam my days like reminders that love isn't a fireworks show. It's a campfire we keep feeding when the night gets cold. And baby, the night has been cold. Not dramatic, not tragic, just long. Long enough to learn that what we had wasn't fragile. I was. What we had wasn't complicated. I was. What we had wasn't temporary. My courage was. If you ever wondered whether I got it now, yes, down to the bone. There's also something I never said because it felt too holy to touch without clean hands. You taught me the difference between privacy and hiding. Privacy is where love grows. Hiding is where fear rots. I hid you in the name of protecting us. But really, I was protecting a version of me that couldn't carry the weight of being known. You deserved my public honor as much as my private softness. You deserved a simple sentence that would have changed everything. She's mine, and I'm proud. I didn't give you that sentence in time. I can't rewrite our calendar, but I can change the language of my life now so that every room I enter, the truth enters with me. If grace ever lets our paths braid again, there will be no separate closets for light and love. It will be one room, one table, one name I say without flinching. And still, I am not coming to you with a request you can't carry. I'm not here to tug at wounds that finally scabbed over. I'm here to respect your healing and tell you a truth that belongs to you whether we ever hold hands again or not. You were not a chapter I outgrew. You were the compass I outfeared. I have been walking in circles brave enough to call themselves roads. I'm done with circles. I'm done with rehearsing the same almost. I'm done with if only prayers that end before they touch the ground. I am ready for simple, for honest, for ordinary days that feel like miracles because we actually show up for them. If you give me that private room, I'll bring what I never brought, my timeline with the locks removed, my explanations without the excuses, my plans with your peace at the center, my phone face down like you taught me, my voice steady enough to say the sentence that should have been the first sentence all along. I choose you, and I'm willing to live like it looks. I'm willing to do the slow work and the quiet work. I'm willing to tell the truth to the people who once benefited from my silence. I'm willing to lose the image to keep the intimacy. I'm willing to let the old me mourn while the new me signs the lease on a future that doesn't flinch when love calls it home. Maybe you've moved on. Maybe your heart found a town with less weather. If that's true, I'll bless it with both hands. I'll honor the door you locked and never rattle it again. But if there is any part of you that still wonders whether the words you waited for might one day arrive, let me bring them to you in person, with eyes that don't look away and a spine that doesn't bend when it's time to mean it. I won't ask for forever in that room. I'll ask for coffee, for a chair, for 10 minutes, where your spirit can test the weight of my clarity and decide whether it wants to hear the rest. Before I close this, I'll say the thing that costs me pride and gives me peace. You were right about me. You saw the man beneath the performance. You knew there was a future knocking, and that I was pretending I didn't hear it, because answering meant moving out of the house fear built for me. Thank you for being brave enough to love me beyond the edges of my courage. Even when I made your bravery feel like a burden, I will spend my days paying that debt to life itself, whether you spend them with me or not. If any part of this reached you beyond the noise of the past, whisper it back to me so I know where to meet you. Comment, I'm ready to hear you. If your heart wants that private room with the lights low and the truth finally standing on its own 2 feet, I'll be there. No hiding, no half-love, no borrowed courage. Just me, the man you always said I could be, walking in with both hands open and one simple prayer on my lips. Let me speak it right this time. Baby, if you gave me that room, if you slid the bolt and let the quiet sit between us like a witness, the very first thing I would do is breathe your name like an apology I've finally learned how to pronounce. Then I would tell you everything I hid behind timing, behind maybe later, behind the safe mask of a man who looked steady on the outside but was shaking on the inside. I would tell you that privacy is not where I plan to keep you. It is where I plan to undress my truth so it stops staining your memory. I would tell you that I have already told my own reflection what I should have told you in daylight. That I am done with halfway love, done with rehearsing the best version of myself while giving you the edited cut, done with leaving you to interpret silence like it was scripture. I would tell you the dates I now honor like holy days. The first time your laugh made my shoulders drop. The last time I saw your eyes close when you prayed for me without asking for anything back. The evening the house grew honest and even the walls refused to hold another lie. I would tell you how my mother's voice, steady like a lighthouse, cut through the fog and named you safe. How that blessing did not give me permission to code. It gave me responsibility to rise, to become, to protect, to speak. I would tell you that I have already said your name in rooms that once traded it like currency, and I watched those rooms lose their power over me. I would tell you that if love is a country, I am finally at the border, my passport signed to truth, and I do not plan to return to the land of almost, baby. I need you to know the plan. Because love without a plan becomes a story we keep rereading until the pages tear. If you say yes to coffee, I will not bring fireworks and empty vows. I will bring a calendar with space made in ink, not pencil. Mondays are for the mundane miracles, grocery lists and eye contact. Tuesdays are for the truths we dodge. Wednesdays for remembering what we're building when work tries to make us forget. Thursdays for touch that says we're still here. Fridays for laughter we don't apologize for. Saturdays for family, even if family is just us and two mugs in a hallway full of light. Sundays for the sacred we choose on purpose. I will bring boundaries that keep the walls where they belong. Boundaries that keep your peace where it can breathe. Not boundaries that threaten you with distance, but walls that guard us from the winds that use to blow us off the path. I will bring my phone face down and my attention faced up. I will bring apologies that are not flowers placed on the grave of the same mistake. They will be bricks in a road I must walk every day. I wake up as the man who refuses to lose you to his own laziness again. I will bring a list with 3 columns: what dies, what lives, what we grow. And I will ask for your hands on that paper, because this time we are not letting chance write us. We are giving choice a pen, and we are signing our full names. The truth I have carried is not small. It is not something that can be squeezed into half sentences or masked with polite smiles. It is heavy like stone, and it has lived inside me like an echo waiting for the right silence to bounce against. And that is why I need the private moment, because this is not about making you miss me or impressing you with regret. It is about handing you the weight I should have shared long ago, the weight of my choices, the weight of my silence, the weight of the nights I left you wondering while I convinced myself that love could wait until I was ready, when the truth is, love was the only thing that ever made me ready for anything at all. Do you know what happens when you try to bury truth under fear, baby? It doesn't die. It grows roots. It winds itself around your ribs until you can't breathe right. Until every laugh feels borrowed, until every new face feels like a poor translation of a language your soul already knows by heart. That's what I have been living in. Rooms that looked full but felt empty. Conversations that made noise but gave no peace. Nights where even sleep refused to stay because it kept reminding me of the one face I should have been falling asleep beside. And every time I tried to convince myself that moving on was healing, something inside me would whisper your name like a prayer I wasn't brave enough to finish.